you all for being here. Thank you all for making the inaugural Indian Film Festival a resounding success. We've got a special treat in store for you tonight. What you've witnessed was, of course, the German premiere of the Mehta Boys, and we do have the highly acclaimed and the amazing Boman Irani here with us. But first, I would like to invite Ambassador of India to Germany, His Excellency Ajit Gupte, onto the stage to grace us with his opening remarks.
Good evening, everyone. Excellencies and dear friends. That was a very engrossing film. I'm sure all of you would have liked it. And some of you may believe in the stereotype Bollywood film, which has 5 or 6 songs, and the actor and the actress running around trees and singing songs, or the awkward relationship between a mother-in-law and the son-in-law, but you had none of that. But instead we had this fascinating interplay between an estranged relationship between the father and the son, and how through a number of chance encounters they recover the past, they retrieve the past, and become very good friends again. I would like to thank the director, Mr. Boman Irani, for coming all the way to Berlin and for being present with us today. And it was really a pleasure and an honor for us to have you here, and for us also personally to meet you, because we have enjoyed so many of your films earlier. And today we recalled having seen many films, whether it is The Three Idiots, or Dawn 2, or PK, or Houseful. And in all these films, he played a very crucial role. We spoke at length about his role as the father, once again, in the movie Lakshya. And I confess to him that whenever I watch Lakshya, and I've seen it a number of times, a dialogue that he has with Hrithik Roshan, it makes me emotional. When Hrithik Roshan is shown as the son of a businessman who goes and joins the army and fights. And in an endearing moment of the film, the father, that is Boman Irani, tells Hrithik Roshan that all his business friends are very proud of him, because he is the only businessman whose son has joined the army and fought. So there are many, many such moments which we recall, even though as a diplomat our focus is not on films. But let me briefly say that it is a great privilege to be here for the Indian Film Festival, which has been put together by Trisha, the director of the Cultural Center, and my other colleagues. At very short notice, and I would like to thank the audience for coming here. Bollywood, just a few words about Bollywood. I think it has played a very important role in not only projecting India abroad, but in also bringing the diverse people of India closer together. And I would like to narrate some of my experiences as a diplomat. One of my first postings was in China, and I spent nearly 3.5 years in Beijing and traveled around China. And I met tens of thousands of Chinese, and all of them could sing the song Main Aava Rahu. Of course, the Chinese cannot pronounce R, so they would sing the song as Main Ava La Hu. And then we were in Bangladesh, where again, most Bangladeshis spent their evening hours watching Bollywood films, and there was a widespread but widely believed story that the then Prime Minister Begum Khaleda Zia, there was a very popular TV serial, Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi, that the mother-in-law was also a daughter-in-law. Is it the reverse? Yeah. And that she used to declare a holiday and go and watch the TV serial at home. And my last assignment in Egypt, I should tell you that I have not met a single Egyptian who doesn't follow Bollywood. And the moment you introduce yourself as coming from India, they say, they hold the sign of friendship, and they say Amitabh Bachchan, Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan. And if you go to any shop in Egypt, and this is a tip for whoever goes to Egypt, if you tell them that you are from India, they'll give you a 5% discount. Bollywood has enchanted people across the world, whether it is East Asia to Southeast Asia to Central Asia, and now I think increasingly Europe and North America. During this festival, we will be presenting various types of films of different genres, bringing out different stories from various parts of India. We are also showcasing films in regional languages, in 10 languages, and I'm sure you will find that there are many very interesting stories and films to watch in the next few days. I hope many of you will take the opportunity to come again in the next few days. And let me conclude by once again thanking Mr. Boman Irani. It's a great pleasure and honor for us to have you and all the other directors and producers who have come all the way from India. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So who wants me to invite Mr. Boman Irani onto stage? That wasn't nearly loud enough. You've got to give us another shot. Come on, we can be louder. That's more like it. So, let me briefly, not that he needs any introduction, but let me briefly introduce him. Boman Irani is one of India's most versatile and beloved actors, known for his unforgettable performances in films like Munna Bhai MBBS, Three Idiots, PK, Naksh, and so many more. I think it's over 100 films, if I'm not wrong. With a career spanning decades, he has consistently brought depth, humor, and heart to every role he's taken on. Now at the age of 64, Boman... now at the age of 24... Boman has stepped into his new role as a director with his directorial debut, The Mehta Boys, which we've just seen. He's a storyteller at heart and an incredible human being. So let's give it up once again for Boman Irani.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for being here, for sitting right till the very end, and now for the next 2.5 hours we'll be doing the no. Thank you. It's really, really heartening. It makes me feel so very proud. I'm so very proud to tell little Boman that what he ever wanted to do in life, he's eventually done most of the stuff that he wanted to, including the film. The story, Mehta Boys started, when I decided I had done enough of films, and I said, it's time to write and it's time to direct. So I wrote the script and I read it one night at length, and I said to myself, Boman, you have written the most beautiful film in the history of cinema. No, wait. I woke up in the morning, I threw it in the trash can. Because there were big flaws in the film, and I said I needed to, just because I have been an actor for about 35 years, between theatre and cinema, does not automatically make me qualified to be a writer and a director. You've got to learn from scratch, you've got to pay your dues, and work all your way up, you know. So I started doing workshops, I started reading a hell of a lot of books, and one workshop I met this writer in New York. He was a playwright, and I just fell in love with him and the way he listened to my story, and he reacted to it so very strongly. And I came back to India and I said, I found the writer. I asked him if he had done any movies, and he said, I've done one film, and that too, it's an art house film, which will come and go, his very words. The art house film will come and go. Nevertheless, I had a producer then, who said, okay, if that's what you want, we love your story, we'll hire this guy. And they hired him, and then the accountant of the company told him that I checked this guy's IMDb, and he has no films to his name. So he says, the producer says, change the writer. So I said, I have an even better idea. Let's change the producer. And that's exactly what I did. Because when people believe in your story, you stick with that guy. And I kind of started writing on my own and sending him pages, you know, because we didn't have the money to hire him. A year and a half down the line, that art house film, which was supposed to come and go, won an Oscar. So guess who calls me the next morning and says, let's start afresh. I said, no, thank you, sir. Nevertheless, I went back to New York, and I spent, that film, by the way, was Birdman. The writer is my brother and friend, Alex Dinalaris. And we continued to write 5 pages, 10 pages every trip to New York. It took a hell of a long time, and as you know, the cat is out of the bag. I'm 65 years old. It takes me time to do everything in life. But it took me a hell of a lot of time to pen this with Alex. Every line I'm proud to say in this film is accountable. Every prop is accountable, and I'm proud that we all sat together and we watched this film together. Thank you very much. Thank you. Do you have some questions?
I've got lots of questions. That was incredible, the story that you told us just now about how your collaboration with Alex came about. Was it easy working with someone, co-writing with someone? Was it harder? Did it keep you motivated?
I think it's, if you're both on the same page and have different interpretations of the same thing, then we just fight out and let's see whose version is better on the page. And most of the time he would bully me, so it's fine. But it's not, it's fun. The whole process is great fun. Filmmaking is fun. I want to first start off by saying there are such wonderful filmmakers here, and you'll be seeing their films over the next few days. Atul Sabharwal is here, my friend. Give him a big hand. Rahul Chitela is here. I've seen his film all before. Rahul, where you stand up, buddy? Right? Kanu Bell is here. Wonderful directors. I'm so proud to be sharing this weekend with you guys. But it's fun. If that's what you wanted to do all your life, you don't make yourself miserable. The process of making film should be fun, not miserable. And I enjoyed every single moment of it.
And you played two roles in the film, so to speak. You were both the actor and the director. How easy or difficult was it to go from being one to the other? Or were you both at the same time?
So we did a lot of prep, and I did not want to be in the makeup van sitting in the chair and saying, you know, let's place the shot here, this is the opening shot of the day and all. We had kind of programmed everything beforehand with a little room for improvisation as far as camera is concerned, as far as lighting is concerned, even performance is concerned. So honestly, it wasn't really difficult. It's just that I hate myself on screen. So I never watch my movies. This is the one I've seen most amount of times. Otherwise, you know, I just watch it. But I used to go watch and ask everyone if they found truth in what I was doing in the performance. If they felt there was a fault, so then we do a retake. Otherwise, I don't think it was difficult at all. Getting this film off the ground was difficult. Nobody wanted to make a film where a father and son are squabbling from beginning to end. Nobody. No actor wanted to do it, honestly, and I'm really, really lucky with the cast that I have, and I'm going to introduce them to you. Two of them are here. I'm lucky. That's the best thing I did. That's the best thing I did. Cast well, cast the DOP, cast the editor, cast the producer. These are the people who are actually making the movie. You're just bossing them around. That's it. So really, it was. I've never had so much fun in my life.
That sounds amazing. And I think, what you said about being truthful, and is there truth in the story? I think that's what it was. That's what resonated. I'm sure I speak for everyone when I say that. That's what resonates the most about the film. It's universal. The themes of identity, family, belonging, and of course, like you said, family. And we do have your filmy family here from the film.
Yes, we do.
Do you think it's time to call them?
It's time to call them.
And talk a little bit more about the
Sure.
film. May I introduce Avinash Tiwary, who played Amar in the film. So Avinash is an acclaimed Indian actor known for his breakthrough performance in Laila Majnu and his role in the Netflix hit Bulbul. With his intense screen presence and nuanced performances, he has quickly established himself as a rising star in Indian cinema.
Thank you.
We have also got your daughter from the film, Puja Sarup here. Puja is a talented actor and theatre artist, celebrated for her work in Indian independent cinema and her contributions to experimental theatre. Known for her ability to bring emotional depth, which we all witnessed, and authenticity to her character, she has been part of several acclaimed films like Kissa, Mehta Boys, as well as Gulmohar. So let's give it up for Puja as well.
This young man. I just want to say that this young man, his bags have not arrived from Mumbai. And that's the reason why he's dressed like this, for the red carpet, right? But let me tell you something, even if his bag had arrived, he would be dressed like this only. That's so true. So I'm so very proud to have these two wonderful people, my beta and my beti. And maybe you all can say a couple of things. Lucky to have you. It's a part. It's a part. It is so restrained. Everybody wants, they say in acting, when you're in doubt, shout. But he shouted only once in the movie and at the right moment. And he had to control himself throughout the movie. And such a restrained performance, I think. Hats off to you for what you've done and what you brought for me. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I actually feel very honored being here, having this nice mix of audience, Indian and all so many Germans around.
They're all Indian only, trust me.
And the fact that we have films from all over India and the Hindi film industry, not so pleased calling it Bollywood. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys. I think that next 2 days, all over the country, we're going to be having our film showcase, and hope everyone who sees it enjoys it. Thank you.
Thank you, dear. I got to mention my dear friend Lakshmi Priya, where you stand up and give her a big hand. Her film is amazing. Please look up her film.
I don't know what to say. I think you've said it all. I think it resonated when you said you had fun making this, and I think today I was like, yes, I had fun making this. Super excited to be here. Thank you for having us, and what an amazing lineup, and really excited to see all the other crazy stuff that's come from India. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
So I think one of the most touching aspects of the film was the family dynamics.
Right.
Of course, the father-son relationship, but also the people who were present on stage and the people who were absent on stage. So much of the film was about grief, right?
Right.
And so much of it was about the two women. I mean, of course, when Anu's on screen, we see how that plays out and how she's trying to step into her mother's role in keeping the family together. But when she's off screen, it's very much about what happens, how the equilibrium of a family gets disturbed when certain persons are missing from it. Would you be able to talk a little bit more about, what aspects of that you found easiest, hardest, what you want the audience to take away from that?
The most romantic moment in the film, there's hardly any romance in the film. The most, and I came in the way of one moment of romance in the house when she brought her overnighter and nothing happened. But there's no romance in the film except for that one moment in the end where Shreya, my darling Shreya, she's not here, Shreya Chaudhary is so beautiful in that performance where she looks at him and says, well, if they love it, which I'm sure they will, cost will not be an issue, and she looks at him. That's the most romantic moment in the film. Now, we don't have the typical romance in the film, but somebody very, very correctly said that there are actually 3 women in the film. There's Puja Anu, there is Zara, and there's Shivani. And I think Shivani's presence in the film is there all the time, even when the tarpaulin, the red tarpaulin is flying, and every time there's red on the screen, Shivani is on the screen. And I think I'm very, very proud that even though it's not, when people say, well, it's a male-centric film, I don't think so. I don't think so. The 3 women characters are very, very strong and very strongly written. I'm very proud of that. Also, thematically, what you said is very true. It's about a boy who wants to become a man and a man who's coming downwards, and they crisscross each other the most inappropriate or appropriate times in their life. And every scene and every line and every dialogue is about one-upmanship and manhood, if you notice. From every moment, but even if it's a matter of picking up a bag, it's about manhood and the fact that, he wants to be the man that he wasn't. And this guy has to become the man that he should. And so that's one theme that was very strong. The second theme that in the film which was very strong was stupidity. and the fact that when we look at the film and you look at life and look at the missed opportunities that we have being big-headed and egotistical and letting our egos getting the way of what should be pretty easy. 3 trips to the airport. Everybody won't get those 3 trips to the airport before the final flight is eventually representative of death. And it is that moment that, they may have hugged or, just kissed him, I don't know, it was his sweet boy, is what we hope we can be and let our arrogance be set aside. So those are the themes that I thought were tackled in the film.
And if I may ask, Avinash and Puja, did you draw on your own family dynamics, your experience as a daughter, your experience as, being siblings or as a son, whilst you were playing these characters?
Father and sons are always tricky. I think there was enough resource available for me to make use of. But I personally felt there's so many instances I felt that this is not necessarily just a father and son story, but I could feel this in so many relationships. I, in fact, was going through a relationship breakup at that point, and I could connect everything. I was like, when you, like how they are in the restaurant, he wants to do something good, but it transpires in absolutely different manner. And you realize this is what probably happens with all of us in several relationships that we go through, which made it very, very universal for me. I'm sure Puja would like to add something to this.
I had to work really hard because, I had no personal reference to dip into. No, I'm joking. But like Avinash said, it's all relationships. It's so many of just pick up the damn phone and call, have a conversation, which we don't do. But I was very fortunate because I had private tuition masterclass with Boman Irani. We worked through all the scenes. There was in-depth analysis of what is the scene about, what is it really about. what are we trying to do? So that really helped, I think, with the character. Yeah.
Just to add that,
Stop complaining about
I
it.
have to. I cannot let go of any opportunity without saying this. So, the first time I met Boman sir, I sat down with him and I was like, how can I ever bring that kind of effort and time and perseverance that is put in this script already? And on the very first day, I almost felt that he expected me to be right there, like his 9 years and me to be right there. And I always felt like I'm lagging behind, right? Like you feel like I really want to be there. And it started feeling like this father-son relationship that we have in the film where the father says, be a man. And he's like, yeah, I'm trying. But, and I think that has really, I personally feel that relationship of Avinash and Boman has kind of transpired into the film. I hope it has really done some justice to the characters. Yeah, I just want to say that.
I'm glad you shared that with us. I think we all enjoyed that. Now, we are going to move to audience questions in just a second. I have to tell you something about the cinema though first. This is apparently one of the largest screens in Europe. And the acoustics are very, very good. And we are very enthusiastic about this film and about these three wonderful people being on stage, which means we can get past a small technical glitch. Our second mic seems to not be working at the moment. So we will do audience questions, but you're going to have to show your enthusiasm by being really loud. Anyone who does have audience questions, can I request you to please stand up so we can see you? There you go.
Okay.
All right.
Namaste, everybody.
Namaste.
My name is Ajay Chaudhary. My question to Bomani sir. Sir, in your entire film career, would you like to emphasize whether the physical challenging scene you have done was in Dawn or Langkawi Bridge, Glass Langkawi Bridge in Malaysia or something else?
Physically challenging.
Physically challenging.
Well, I've been married for 40 years, so I have pretty good.
I have my second question, sir.
Okay.
Sir, excuse me, it is little bit not related to films. You being the ambassador of the Zoroastrian community, are you planning to
Have more babies? No, I can't.
do you have any plans to go political and claim your lost glory and ancestral land of Iran in some way? So
Well, if everybody starts doing that, we'll have another world war. We don't need that. We don't need that anymore. I just want to say that we are to blame for our own dwindling numbers. We're only 67,000 Parsis and Zoroastrians left on this planet. Only 67,000. Can you imagine? Why did that happen? So the old seniors of the community, priests and the high priest, come to me and say, Boman, do something. I said, what the hell do you want me to do, man? It's our fault. It's our fault. What's the point in going and reclaiming something? Then everybody can go and reclaim whatever they feel they come from. And that's the very problem that we are suffering. So let's talk about cinema and not war right now, yeah? Yes, Nicholas, what did you ask the question?
my number one is
No,
unanswered. My number one question is unanswered.
this movie was the most physically challenging, honestly.
This is a question to Boman, the writer, not the director and the actor. I felt that you did such a good job of giving equal weight to Shiv and Ame and their wants and their needs. But my question to you is, when you were writing this and conceiving this, did you see yourself as Shiv or did you see yourself as Ame?
As Ame? Thank you for the compliment. No, in fact, I didn't want to act in the film. I did not want to act in the film out of fear that I pay too much attention to my acting. In fact, I wanted Irfan Khan to do the film, honestly.
Sorry, I didn't mean as an actor.
No, but you're speaking as a writer, right? I think it's very important that this film, there are a lot of people, and it'll be a divided vote. There are a lot of people who will say, I think Ame was right in this particular case. My wife genuinely feels that he should have gone and paid half the bill. There are a whole bunch of people who say, no, who gave him the right to do that? So this film is very, very sharply balanced that you don't take sides. The moment you start taking sides, we create a villain, and there's no villain. The villain is you, within you, and your ego is the villain. So every scene has very sharply been placed there. When he comes humbly, I sit on my high horse. When I go to him humbly, So I think it was very, very important to understand that both characters were equally at fault. Their fatal flaws were in equal measure, and their wounds were in equal measure. He has his wounds because I kept pushing him and he didn't understand that, he's treating me like, do your best, but that's what fathers do. It's just that the methods aren't good, but the intention is great. And then in that method of making someone do his best, bowl like a man, you end up looking bad, but that's okay. And you get hurt, and the ball hits him right in the heart. So it is very important the film was balanced on paper. Very important. If that answers your question. So talk about World War III, if there are no... Yes, sir. Yeah.
Hi, sir. How are you?
Hi, buddy.
I was just waiting for everyone else to finish the questions because I can ask you a lot of questions later as well. But sir, बहुत दफा ऐसा हुआ जब I could बहुत दफा ऐसा हुआ जब मुझे खुद अपने पापा की याद आ रही थी. Especially when the film ends where वो बत्ती बुझा रहा है, वो चीजें कर रहा है जो पापा चाहते थे. और मेरा ना हर पैटर्न इज लाइक माय फादर. मेरा नहाने के बाद बाल सुखाने का पैटर्न सेम है, नाखून काटने का पैटर्न सेम है. यू पिक इट अप फ्रॉम योर फादर. आई नॉर्मली से टू माय domestic help कि दाल में टमाटर नजर नहीं आना चाहिए. And I suddenly go back and this is what my father has said 25 years ago to the domestic help then. So बहुत सारी चीजें ऐसी हुई जो बहुत ज्यादा close to अलग तरीके से connect कर रही थी. But my question to you is, how was your relationship with your father? Touch wood, when my father left the world, उससे पहले मेरा कभी कोई conflict नहीं हुआ था. बस 3 साल पहले conflict हुआ. Touch wood, I feel so happy that I was able to close that conflict much before he left the world. But how was your relationship with your father?
So my father passed away 6 months before I was born. So I don't know what it is like to have a father, honestly. So I have no reference point. But I do have a wonderful relationship with my sons. And there is conflict. There has to be conflict. Before writing this film, I read a paper on psychology called Family Romance. Is that when a child is born and he comes into this world like an alien, like E.T., he looks at his father's face and his mother's face, and this is the very image of God. Right? And then when you grow a little older, they might make eyes at you. When you get a little older, you get a little slap on the butt. And when the mustache starts coming out, that's when you say, this guy isn't God, he's the devil. And that's only because your hormones are talking. And it's only because your hormones are talking and the old man's hormones, and the old man is getting older and he's losing out. So he loses his wife, he loses his house, he loses his passport, he loses his money, he loses identity, and all he wants is getting that back. So that's what this film is actually about. I'll tell you, I'm rambling. I'm sorry, I'm so excited I'm rambling. But my editor, Charushi Roy, who's done a wonderful job, said her husband is in the army. And he drives tanks with guns. And his father, holds the handbrake. And he says, Dad, but I fight on the border with tanks. He's saying, no, as far as I'm sitting in the car, I'm controlling what's going on over here. That's the very nature of this relationship. At least in India. Thank you. Thank you, Abha, for that. I'm glad it resonated with you. Anybody else would like to ask? Yeah, go ahead, please.
My question is to Puja, actually. As Vaman was saying, there's 2 main characters that are happening, but there are 3 strong women-centric roles also. And you had a role which would be called small, but you really lived it.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
The most impactful characters on screen, and it was very realistic in the sense that I have behaved a lot of times in the way that frustrated frustration that comes through. I have seen that. So how do you take that role and make it into something that is so real?
Talent.
Shit.
No, I think it's the prep that we did. Boman spent a lot of time, like I was saying, on like each scene and. Oh, sorry, Boman's name. But I think it's the prep that really helped. And honestly, I feel as an actor, it was a script also, yeah. Like it's so rare that you find a script where the work is done. You know, I feel like I didn't have to do much. It was there. I just had to be careful with just like understanding why this line is there, what's happening here, you know, and that's it. It was good job, yeah, you guys. Yeah. Like, yeah, it was pretty easy in that sense. Painful sometimes. I mean, yeah, but I think it was just the prep and the text. Thank you.
So,
I have one question to the core message of the film. We talked a lot about relationship conflicts, and man from India, very controversial, Bhagwan Osho. The one thing I learned from him was underneath every relationship conflict lays the fear of abandonment and shame. And if we really think about it, it explains a lot. And this conflict between father and son led on the other side to, for me, the high point of the movie. I would like to know that was for you a core message, namely the wisdom of the father and the complaint of the father led in the son to a new vision, which sounded to me so authentic and so important for all of us to reconnect to our deepest source and our cultures and create from there. And that was for me the most beautiful message of the film. Was that an intent or?
I would like to think so, yes. I think there are scenes where, for me, one of the most complicated, or rather poetic moments in the film is the film with the message that fathers, I think, get misunderstood because of their methodology of bringing up children. It's just that they don't have a handbook of how to bring up kids. Every kid is different. And then you learn how to deal with a 3-year-old, and then suddenly he becomes 7. And you don't have to learn to deal with a 7-year-old, suddenly he's a teen. So it's difficult being a father. And the only intention of a parent is, I want you to do your best and be successful. And that, I think, comes out best, even though it's a little subtle for certain audiences, is in the cricket scene where he tells that boy, first of all, the boy tells him, you're old man now, so here goes a grubber. And he sends down the grubber, and he gets really offended. But he still pushes his son. He still pushes his son to do his best and gets hurt in the heart. That is what it is, that your intention should be good, sometimes your methods may not. That was the idea, and that's where all the misunderstanding takes place. I am extremely proud that whatever you said was very much intended. That you say it, and I'm very grateful that it's come across like that. That is the intention of the film. Sorry?
I said
We also felt it during the shoot, because every day there'll be one AD or somebody going behind a vanity van and crying and saying, I'm going to call my dad, I'm going to call so-and-so. So even when we were shooting, people were connecting, people were resonating with what was happening, and I think that was beautiful to see.
One last question, maybe?
right at the back.
Right at the back, please stand up.
Back, I'm going to try. Can you hear me?
Absolutely, you are the clearest actually.
Thank you. Boman sir, my name is Upen. Welcome again to Berlin. My question is a little bit about the production technology and innovation used in the Indian film industry at the moment. Do you miss a few things, or do you think there are a few aspects that we can collaborate better with Germany or Europe in general from the technical aspects of producing?
Oh, technical, I thought you'd say maybe financial aspect. But anyway, we'll talk. Of course. cinema, Mr. Shyam Benegal passed away 2 weeks ago. And he used to always say, whenever you make your film would be well said. That somebody can still understand your film even if there are no subtitles anywhere in the world. So, film in that sense, it's a language in itself. So, why should it be that, is it possible technically? I think it should be possible on all aspects of filmmaking. Why only technical? I was joking about the money part, not really. But whether it's writers, Nicholas will corroborate, right? Whether it's writing, whether it's acting, whether it's just the DOPs, editors. I think cinema is so universal, and a film like this, I would like to believe, is universal. Everybody who's ever had a dad or a parent or had will hopefully this film will resonate. So, sure, we can do work together. I would love it. And any excuse to come back to Berlin. Any excuse, trust me. No problem. Yeah, someone? Yeah? Yeah, please, go ahead. Tasneem.
Yes, hi. What a wonderful work for the first-time director who's been active for so many years. Because I am the woman with the camera here, so my question is related to your directorial experience. What would be the 2 most important tips that you learned as a director that you would pass on to young filmmakers?
First of all, watch all the old great films that were made and understand the history of cinema. It'll hold you in great stead. Secondly, those films that you watch, read the original screenplays. It's very, very important. What is it that takes a page and put it on the screen, and what did it take for someone like Billy Wilder to write what he wrote in Sunset Boulevard, or One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? I mean, you've got to read those scripts. Or William Goldman's Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Read that script. And the greatest tip I can give you is, stop criticizing other people's work. Make your goddamn film and then talk. Because when we criticize, all we are doing is being bitter. So you've got to be really open-hearted about other people's work, otherwise we'll only be criticizing and not learning. And I think you've got to learn humbly. When I met Alex, and he used to be unavailable for me, and I would go and sit, literally, I used to go and wait outside his door. He told me come at 11 o'clock, and he's in a meeting with Alejandro Iñárritu, right? Outside the club where he would be sitting. I would be standing in the snow for him, and they say, why the hell do you need to stand? Why do you need to come all the way? Because I wanted to learn. Learning should never stop. So this is my only piece of advice that I can give any young filmmaker. And another point. Please don't take a leaf out of my book, please, and make your debut at 65. Do it a little earlier. Sir.
I have a question for Ame. What happened to Zara? Did you guys get married? And did you call your sister?
I wish the writer had written their destiny. I wish I knew what it would be. Sir, do you have any plans?
Sequel.
So I'm going to put something that was on the page, that when she looked at him, and he became a man in front of the boss, and Zara, in front of our eyes, he became a man, and when she looked at him, she just wanted to jump across the table and kiss him or make downright love to him. That was what the script actually says, believe it or not, because that's the culmination of their romance. Eventually, she wants him to be a man. This movie is about manhood at the end of the day. It's about manhood, about me and my manhood, him and his manhood. Yeah, where is she? Sorry, I'm looking at his sister. That would be very awkward. So yes, they do get together, but then he's got to put his money where his mouth is.
Well, I also learned that your girlfriend would kind of replace her father and hold the handbrake, and that will stay for life. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if I intend to get married post that.
Thank Thank you.
Can I do one final question?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to do one final question. So, for all three of you, after this incredible film, what's next?
No, let's go alphabetically. A.
Start shooting for something in Feb. Unfortunately, ma'am, due to contracts, we're not supposed to talk about it. But what I can say is it's a love story. Love story of a separating couple is all I can give you right now, and something that I'm really excited, looking forward to. I feel people who have liked my work have been expecting something like this from me for the longest, and I hope we do justice to it.
B. A. B.
So for me is, I run a screenplay writing organization. Whatever I've learned from my years, whatever I may have learned, and a lot from Alex and from other greats. During the pandemic, we started this organization called Spiral Bound, and it's free. Anybody in the world can join Spiral Bound. We've completed since the pandemic 870 sessions online. And for me, that is very dear to my heart, that we continue working on writing. We have great situations, we have great stories, we have great plots. But I think when it comes to, we drop the ball sometimes on the screenplay level. So I think young writers need to be encouraged, and that is my mission, that I will continue to teach apart from writing my own films for my company, Irani Movie Tone, and using these people in the nicest way possible. I'm using the word in the nicest way possible, so that we have a whole bank of movies, not just for me or for Irani Movie Tone, but they can go wherever they want with the first option. I will never stop anyone from going and making their own lives and their own career. So that's my mission. Spiral Bound is my mission, and I'm very, that's the proudest thing I've ever done, actually.
I'm taking a week off. I'm in Berlin to figure out what I'm going to do next. Yeah, I think the city will help me figure out. Yeah. But, I also run a theatre company, so new stuff there. And I think after this Mehta Boys experience, kind of drawn towards writing. So something there. I don't know what.
Well, this is the best place to figure it out.
Yeah.
Once again, thank you all so much. Thank you, Boman. Thank you, Avinash. Thank you, Puja. Thank you so much for coming all the way here to support us. Thank you for letting us make the Mehta Boys the inaugural film, the opening film of the inaugural Indian Film Festival. It's been such an honor to have the chance to interact with you. I'm sure I speak for everyone. And thank you all for making this night truly special. Thank you. I hope you'll enjoy some more movies over the next few days.